Hello. How you doing? How y'all doing?
Kohberger's arrival in Idaho came as police released new body cam video of the suspect and his dad being pulled over twice in Indiana on a December road trip home to Pennsylvania.
See, he's right up on.
Oh, yeah, they stopped him, dude. They fucking stopped him. I think twice, not even once. God, cops are awesome, dude.
Van, man. He's right up on the back of that van. Over for tailgating.
Video shows the sheriff's deputy talking with the two about their long drive.
So you're coming from Washington State University, and you're going there? Oh.
We're going to be going to Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're finally let you be driving for hours.
Hours, days.
Hours.
More than 2 weeks.
Bro, look at his fucking face. Dude, white man buff is so insane, okay? Like, you get full, like, no matter what happens, if you're a white dude and you're talking to a cop, cops literally cannot comprehend any vibes that are fucked. Sneak plus 10, try sneak plus 100, dude. That meta is so OP, I swear to God. It's crazy. Obviously, we've talked about it, like, it's OP in general, because, like, you know, we live in a society that is designed to maintain power in the hands of what is, you know, an endlessly expanding or sometimes shrinking concept of what white people are. But god damn, dude, I mean, this is like, it's weird. It's weird. Like, when police interactions, they're rolling nat 20s every time. Every time. How many fucking serial killers, which, by the way, almost all of them are white, but how many serial killers have had moments where they've interacted with cops, like literally with a body in the trunk, literally immediately after a murder, like when they fit the profile of a suspect that they're looking for? It is so overpowered. Jeffrey Dahmer is a example as well. It's just like it's just a race passive, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Weeks after this, Kohberger was arrested at his family's home in Pennsylvania. The public defender for his extradition case, Jason Labar, described him to 48 Hours as calm and intelligent.
He's an ordinary man to me. I see no distinct characteristics. He's easy to talk to. He's aware of the situation. He's very calm.
What?
Kohberger is...
Bro, there is no... Dude, this is another... Wait, by the way, this is another race buff. This is another racial buff that people don't know about. They also get a plus 10 media buff, okay? A lot of people constantly complain about, like, oh, white men are under attack or whatever. But the amount of... They get plus 10 charisma in the eyes of media figures. They never talk about these motherfuckers and people who hold institutional power in general, where they talk about a serial killer like he's just some chill dude. Remember, Ted Bundy, one of the most prolific rapist murderers of all time, okay? In the aftermath of the case on Ted Bundy, the judge literally told him, as he was delivering his final deliberation, as he was like delivering the final judgment, he said, "You are such a fine young man. Perhaps if circumstances were different, it's such a waste of a fine young man. Perhaps if circumstances were different, you would be in this courtroom defending other, innocent people or something." Here is Brian Kohberger in Latah County, Idaho, the court this morning. No bond. Next hearing in 1 week. We will go through the probable cause affidavit and timeline. Coming up on News Nation at 5 p.m. Eastern.
All right.
Later. Okay, well, I'm sorry, Carter. Like, you already know just as well as I do. These towns, they're so fucking weird.
Please be seated.
Later. Later.
We are on the record in the 2nd Judicial District, Latah County. This is the Magistrates Division of District Court. This is...
Why are you talking like it's a racial buff? Serial killers are great manipulators. I'm talking about it as a racial buff across the board. If you are like if you're a perpetrator of violent crime, the way that black people get presented in media are literally like, oh, look at this fucking animal. Look at his mugshot. He's such a thug. Okay. Versus white serial killers will like murder their whole fucking family and they'll show the family jet skiing in the headline photo, as Zach Fox has correctly pointed out. Here, this is like an endless meme. Yeah. This is how the photos be looking at the headlines when a white man kills his entire family. I said, Zach Carter. My mom called me on stream and told me to react to this because she knew I went to college there. I read the affidavit on stream to her. Nice. Here was the Ted Bundy sentencing hearing.
The jury's recommendation and sentenced Theodore Bundy to die in the electric chair for the murder of 2 co-eds. Bundy is the 136th person under death sentence in Florida. Ed Rabel reports.
Before pronouncing the sentence, Judge Edward Cowart let Bundy make a statement.
I'm not asking for mercy, for I find it somewhat absurd to ask for mercy for something I did not do. So I will be tortured for and will suffer for and receive the pain for that act. But I will not share the burden for the guilt.
In imposing sentence, Judge Cowart cited the savagery of the crimes and what he called the indifference of the defendant.
This court, independent of, but in agreement with.
This guy's last name is Cowart.
The advisory sentence rendered by the jury does hereby impose the death penalty upon the defendant Theodore Robert Bundy.
Then, in an unexpected move, perhaps an afterthought, Cowart stunned the courtroom with some parting words for Bundy.
Take care of yourself, young man.
Thank you.
I say that to you sincerely. Take care of yourself. It's a tragedy for this court to see such a total waste, I think, of humanity that I've experienced in this court. You're a bright young man. You made a good lawyer. I'd love to have you practice in front of me, but you went another way, partner.
Bundy says he'll appeal. Meanwhile, he has been ordered to the state prison to await setting of the date of his execution in the...
Yeah, bro. I mean, what do you mean when we say this shit? Like, I'm not pulling this out of my ass. Here, status and race in the Stanford rape case. Why Brock Turner's mugshot matters. Here is Canadians also getting in on the fun. A black woman let her child play in the park next to where she worked. This is the image the media circulated. Her fucking mugshot. A white man raped an unconscious woman in an alley behind a dumpster. This is the image media circulated. His Stanford yearbook picture. Okay? If you don't think that this is a reinforcement of white supremacist implicit biases that are inside of like every fucking person, I don't know what to tell you. Okay? That's the buff we're talking about. Outrage over Stanford rape sentence. Like, that? What the fuck? Now, if you want, the way to fix this is not by showing white dudes in mugshots. The way to fix this is by showing everyone in, better moments, I guess. Especially when it's not a fucking person that has done like an insane, unimaginable crime. Or in most instances, a black victim of police brutality. Black people, even when they're fucking victims of police brutality, are still and were until like a lot of the media changed their overall way of covering these events. And that is like a new thing for the record. Okay? They used to treat literal victims of police brutality and police violence like they were also the actual perpetrators when they weren't. They recently changed it too, like a couple of years ago. So understand that this is a relatively new process. Anyway, let's take a look at what the judge is saying here.
Cause number CR 29222805. Mr. Koberger is present in court. He is in custody. He is appearing with his attorney, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Thompson, Ms. Jennings, on behalf of the state. This is the time set in the matter for initial appearance. Mr. Koberger, I am going to advise you of the rights that you have in this case. I am going to go over the criminal complaint with you, and then we're going to discuss setting the matter for further hearing. You have the following rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. That means the state bears the burden to prove that you are guilty of this offense beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing is a probable cause hearing. At that hearing, the state must establish that more likely than not, these felony offenses were committed and you were the one that committed the felony offenses. You have a right to have that hearing within 14 days if you remain in custody. If you are bound over at that preliminary hearing to district court, if the court finds probable cause, you would be bound over to district court. And at that time, you can enter a plea of not guilty, and you can have a jury trial set within 6 months of your appearance in district court. At both your preliminary hearing and your jury trial, you have the right to confront and question any evidence or witnesses.
Oh my God. Instead of adjourning, they're going for an 11th speaker vote. They're going for another one.
To the one that will be elected next, Kevin McCarthy. The role of Speaker of the House is one of the most beloved in American history.
They're going for another one.
The Speaker's mission is to carry out the principled goals and objectives of his...
Okay, I don't care about this shit. All right, let's continue.
Against you. Call witnesses on your own behalf and compel witnesses to be present and testify at the state's expense. You have the right to be represented by a lawyer. If you cannot afford one, one could be appointed to represent you based upon your financial need. You also have the right to appeal any conviction in your case. Do you understand these rights?
Yes.
I am now going to go over the criminal complaint with you. Count 1 of the criminal complaint charges you with the felony offense of burglary. It alleges that the defendant, Brian C. Koberger, on or about November 13th of 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did unlawfully enter a residence located at 1122 King Road, Moscow, with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder. In violation of Idaho Code.
Spoke with the Latah County Sheriff. He says he has heard nothing out of the ordinary with Kohlberger in the jail so far. He says they are trying to accommodate Kohlberger's vegan diet restrictions, but we are not going to buy new pots and pans or anything like that. That's so funny. Oh my God. You mean it to another vegan dude. Jesus Christ. Okay, listen. Vegans are very kind individuals, okay? I'm not gonna shit on vegans right now. And make fun of them with an easy dunk here. Especially as Austin Ox has launched the year of positive HasanAbi PR, okay? The year of HasanAbi positivity is upon us. I'm not going to fucking attack one of my main advocates here. This vegan does not represent all vegans. It's funny though, because he's like, it's funny that they're even talking about like special accommodations. Like they don't do that for anybody. It's American prison, man. It's literally fucking a violation of human rights for everyone, regardless of how severe the crime is. You know what I mean? They don't make accommodation. He's in prison. He's fucked. Anyway, this is the longest I've held the hair tie on. Don't you think that if you've murdered 4 people, the whole idea of being vegan is kind of out the window? Yeah, I don't understand like what your ethical conundrum is there. You killed humans without consent, but like you're like, hey, but you know, a slice of cheese, that's the real murder. Like, what the fuck? At that point, just eat meat, dog. You know what I mean? What the fuck are you doing?
Code 18-1401 and 1403. The maximum penalty for that offense, if you plead guilty or are found guilty, is not less than 1 year in prison, no more than 10 years in prison, and or a $50,000 fine or both. Do you understand?
Yes.
Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree. It alleges that the defendant, Ryan C. Koberger, on or about November 13th, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Madison Mogen, a human being, by stabbing Madison Mogen, from which she died, in violation of Idaho Code 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. The maximum penalty for this offense, if you were to plead guilty or be found guilty, is death or imprisonment for life. Do you understand?
Yes.
Count 3 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree. It alleges that the defendant, Ryan C. Koberger, on or about November 13th of 2022 in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought.
Okay, so this is his, like, that stuff is, like, kind of irrelevant. But there are new investigative details on a timeline. Here's Madison Mogen and Kaylee Conkelves. Wait, is there no audio? What the fuck?